Okay, so here we are starting with our coagulators. So first and foremost, I want one of you to tell me that is coagulase a virulence factor? Is coagulase a virulence factor?
Sir, it coagulates the blood, so it can be a virulence factor.
If it coagulates the blood, why is it a virulence factor?
Sir, that pathogen can hide itself, like
Very
creating a
good.
coat around. Huh?
So the pathogen can form clots and can in a way protect itself from the process of phagocytosis. It's an escape mechanism wherein it's hiding itself from the host immune system. It is one of the best mechanisms for it to skip the process of phagocytosis completely because it's not even visible. And if there is no recognition that is taking place, whom is the immune system going to fight with? So it is one of the virulence factors an organism can possess. Now, coagulase test is normally utilized to distinguish between coagulase positive Staphylococcus aureus from other Staphylococcus species. Like Staphylococcus aureus is positive for coagulase, while Staphylococcus epidermidis is not positive for it. Okay, there is a lot of variability amongst the ability of Staphylococci itself to produce coagulase enzyme. Within Staphylococcus aureus itself, the strains which show antibiotic resistance, like MRSA strains, have shown variability in the coagulase test that they give. But the normal Staphylococcus aureus, which is also a very potent pathogen for the immunocompromised people, and when it reaches the systemic level, it shows you a positive coagulase test. Now, let me tell you that the coagulase which Staphylococcus aureus produces is called a staphylocoagulase, okay, which is heat stable. It is stable at 60 degrees Celsius for as long as 30 minutes. And let me tell you that coagulase produced by Staphylococcus aureus is normally extracellular. Okay, we will come to this aspect of extracellular when we discuss about two types of coagulase. But right now, let us consider it as an extracellular enzyme, or not. Okay, let's consider it as an extracellular enzyme. So we very well know that uh, if you want to do this test, you need plasma. Okay, because the plasma is converted to fibrin clot by the coagulase enzyme. Now, how does this clot formation take place? So, before we understand the mechanism by which coagulase forms the clot, let's have a brief idea of how the normal clot formation takes place in the human body. Though it's a very elaborate process when you talk about blood clotting, but the overview looks like this, wherein you have something called as prothrombin. And prothrombin, in presence of calcium ions and an enzyme called as thrombokinase, which is also called as thromboplastin, is going to activate thrombin. Okay? This thrombin is an activated form of prothrombin. And this thrombin is responsible for converting fibrinogen, an inactive protein, into an active form, which is fibrin, which forms the clot. The clot in biological terms is what we call as thrombus. So let me repeat again. We said that we have an inactive protein called as prothrombin, which is cleaved by a proteolytic enzyme called thrombokinase or thromboplastin in presence of calcium ions to form thrombin. Thrombin is an activator and in turn converts fibrinogen to its active form, which is fibrin, which is responsible for forming the clot. The clot in biological terms is what we call as thrombus. Okay. Now coagulase is like prothrombin. Okay, which means it's in an inactive form, and it needs to be converted to its active form to form a thrombin-like, component, which can then convert the fibrinogen present in the plasma to fibrin. So your coagulase secreted by the organism is an inactive prothrombin-like molecule, which needs to be activated to a thrombin-like molecule, for which coagulase needs to interact with few plasma factors. Okay, and once it gets activated, then it converts the fibrinogen to fibrin, thereby forming a clot. Okay, now let us see how all this happens. Okay, so we will be discussing about the process. So let me tell you what exactly happens in the process. Okay, so the inactive form of coagulase is what we call as procoagulase. Okay, this procoagulase is something which is going to be converted to its active form called as coagulase, for which it needs to interact with some plasma factors. And this coagulase further is going to be responsible for converting fibrinogen to your fibrin clot. ठीक है, अब यहाँ पर हमको एक चीज समझना है जो हमने SY में नहीं पढ़ा था, क्योंकि हम SY में ट्यूब कोएगुलेज मेथड करते हैं. There are two types of coagulase. You have bound coagulase and you have free coagulase. Now, bound coagulase is detected by slide coagulase test. So you don't do the test in tubes, but you do it on glass slides. Okay, so that's called the slide coagulase test. Now, why do you call it as bound coagulase? Because let me tell you that this coagulase is not secreted out into the medium in which the organism is growing. This coagulase is present on the surface of cell wall of the organism. So it's in the bound form, because of which you call it as bound coagulase. We call this as clumping factor or CF. The abbreviation is CF. Now this clumping factor is going to absorb fibrinogen present in the plasma. So this factor is not going out, it is pulling fibrinogen towards it, it's absorbing fibrinogen towards it, and it is modifying fibrinogen to fibrin, leading to formation of clumps of cells. Okay, so what you see on the slide is clumping of cells, which is an indication of clotting. So let me repeat. We said that in bound coagulase, coagulase is not released out into the medium. The coagulase is attached to the surface of the cell wall. It's in the bound format. We call it as clumping factor, abbreviated as CF. Now, as the coagulase is bound to the cell wall, it's going to absorb the fibrinogen, convert it to fibrin, thereby leading to clumping of cells on this slide. So if you see clumping of cells on the slide, it's indication that it's leading to clotting, which means it's a positive coagulase test. Now, please understand that to do this test, you cannot use the supernatant or the culture filtrate of, in which you have grown the organism. Why? Because you know that the coagulase is not in the media, it is on the surface of the cell. So it is preferable that you grow the cells on a plate, pick up a colony, you make a suspension of that using a drop of sterile saline or a drop of sterile distilled water on the slide. because you need whole cells in this process. You don't want cells growing in a broth because the clumping factors are present on the surface of the cell. And to this you add plasma. And you see after adding plasma, is it showing you some clumping? If it shows you some clumping, then it's an indication that indeed it is a coagulase positive test. Are you understanding this? Is it clear till this point, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what you do is you take a clean grease-free slide, you place a drop of sterile distilled water or a drop of sterile saline on the slide. You take a colony of the organism. You are going to emulsify it on the drop. You can also make similar, suspensions on the slide for positive control and negative control strains, right? Because you need to run positive and negative. Positive could be a known identified Staphylococcus aureus, and negative could be you don't add the culture at all. It's just a drop of water. That could be used as negative strain or an organism which you know is negative for coagulase, like Staphylococcus epidermidis. So test positive and negative. Is that very clear? Then you are going to, use an inoculating wire, a stab wire, and take undiluted plasma. Okay, and you are not even using a loop. You are just using the plasma that has adhered to your stab wire, and using that stab wire, you are going to just, mix the suspension that you have made on the slide. And you see, if you are able to see a coarse clumping that is taking place. Within 10 seconds, 10 second ke andar, you should be able to see the clumping. Many a times, if it's a organism which shows low coagulase test, it may take slightly more time, beyond 10 seconds. You will have to be patient and re-examine if it's a slow reacting strain. But normally a proper positive strain gives you the results macroscopic clumping in 10 seconds. Macroscopic means the clumping will be visible to you using naked eyes. You don't have to see it under a microscope or something like that. And if you see no clumping, then it's an obvious indication that it is coagulase negative. Okay, so this is how you do the slide coagulase test, and it's very quick and rapid technique, and that's the reason why people prefer to use this test over the other tube method, because the tube method is going to take comparatively longer period of time. So before we move ahead, I want you to switch to the presentation in which I've shown images of both. We have not discussed the tube method as yet. We will discuss it. But look at the slide. You can see the visible clumping on the left-hand side. Can you all see that? And you can see on the right-hand side, there is no clumping at all. So the left-hand side is going to be the positive test, while the right-hand side is going to be the negative test. I hope that is making sense to you, and it is telling you how a negative and positive test would look like. Right? So that's about the slide coagulase, which is the test for the bound coagulase test. But I also wanted to discuss, the free coagulase test, which is normally done in the tube. Now, please understand that when you do a bound coagulase test, there is very least involvement of plasma factors, and it's not inhibited by antibodies. Also, it's quite easy to perform. But when you talk about the free coagulase test, there are a lot of factors that you need to keep in mind. First of all, let me tell you that the tube coagulase test that is performed, okay, maybe I'll just go to a next page. So the tube coagulase test that you do is going to detect both. It's going to detect bound as well as free coagulase. So it's not that it's specific only for free coagulase. It's going to detect both the bound as well as the free coagulase. Please keep that in mind. And that's the reason why the tube coagulase test is considered to be a confirmatory test for the bound coagulase or the slide coagulase test that you have performed. So slide coagulase देखने के बावजूद confirmation करने के लिए tube coagulase test किया जाता है. So it's not that you can finish things at the slide coagulase. You do the tube coagulase test as a confirmatory test. Okay. Now, free coagulase that is present Okay, it's going to interact with CRF, which is coagulase reacting factor, which is present in plasma. Okay, so this coagulase and the CRF will form a complex. So coagulase is produced by the organism, CRF, that is coagulase reacting factor, is present in the plasma. They both will interact, they will form a complex, and this complex that is formed is very similar to that of thrombin. See, I said similar, I did not say identical, which means that there is difference. It is similar to thrombin because now this complex will be able to convert fibrinogen to fibrin. Okay, that's the reason why we say that it is basically similar to your thrombin. Is that very clear? Okay, so CRF and free coagulase will form the coagulase CRF complex, which is like thrombin, and that will convert fibrinogen to fibrin clot. Now, this kind of a complex of coagulase and CRF in case of Staphylococcus aureus is given a name, that is staphylothrombin. Because it is similar to thrombin, it is termed as staphylothrombin. When coagulase and CRF complex is formed, it is termed as staphylothrombin. It has specific proteolytic activity, okay, which converts the precursor fibrinogen to fibrin, thereby forming clot. So it has a proteolytic activity to cleave fibrinogen to form fibrin. Now, to do this, to perform this test, let me tell you that you have to grow S. aureus, if that is what is suspected, whatever is your test culture, in a media called as Walbum's medium. This is one of the most old medium. I have discussed about this in your SYBSC also, that you can do this test even after growing the organism in nutrient broth, but Walbum's medium is more preferred over nutrient broth. The basic reason for this is that it is one of the more richer media, which ensures that the virulence factor is going to be expressed, which means that coagulase is going to be expressed effectively. Because the composition of Walbum is wherein it has peptone, it has KH2PO4, it has MgSO4, it has distilled water 100 ml, and its pH is 6.8. Now, peptone obviously is a source of nitrogen, minerals, vitamins. MgSO4 is very significant because it provides magnesium ions, which is very crucial for the expression of coagulase. And that's the reason why, the test organism is grown in Walbum's medium, and then the, broth in which you have grown S. aureus is used further to perform the test. Okay. Now, when you do the tube coagulase test, you have to remember that we make use of 1 in 10 diluted plasma, rabbit plasma. Now, the question should be, why do we make use of 1 in 10 diluted rabbit plasma? Please understand that plasma by itself inherently has a lot of natural inhibitors for proteases which are involved in clot formation. So this is because so that unnecessarily clot is not formed in the organism's body. So the plasma inherently contains a lot of natural inhibitors of proteases which are involved in the clot formation process, so that prothrombin is not formed and fibrinogen is not converted to fibrin. So when you dilute the plasma 1 in 10 times, you are not just diluting the enzymes, but you are also diluting the inhibitors, thereby increasing the effect of the proteases in converting prothrombin to thrombin, fibrinogen to fibrin. Because now its inhibitor is diluted out. Okay, so that's the reason why a 1 in 10 diluted rabbit plasma is used in this case. While in slide coagulase test, we don't go for dilution of plasma because we are not using a lot of plasma. We are just using what remains on the step 5. That's the reason why no dilution is done there. But in the tube test, surely you need to do the dilution. You can mix 0.5 ml of the growth involvement medium plus 0.5 ml of 1 in 10 diluted plasma, and you are going to incubate it at 37 degrees Celsius for 4 hours, and every 30 minutes you are going to look for clot formation. So if there is a clot formation, you will see that there is a solid thing that is formed in the 1 ml solution that you had made, or it would look solidified. While if it's a negative test, you will see that there is no clot that is visible, and it is just in the form of a liquid. Now, slide test is very, very quick because you are observing the results in 5 to 20 seconds. But here you have to incubate the tube up to 4 hours while you check for coagulation in every 30 minutes. That brings the difference between both the tests. But as I said, that even if you do the slide test as a confirmatory test, you will have to perform the tube test also. Okay, fine. So I think that now you can switch to the PPT and see the images again. You can very clearly see that when the clot is formed, you can see a solid material over there in the tube. I will show you using a pointer. Here you can see that there is a clot that is formed, but here you can see it's completely clear liquid. Here also you can see a clot is formed, and here you can see it's free flowing fluid, right? It's very easy to see. You have to gently rotate the tube and slant the tube. फटाक से उल्टा नहीं करने का, बहुत gently काम करना है, gently उसको slant करना है और check करना है कि यहाँ पे clot बना है या नहीं बना है. Okay. Now, I had to show you a video as well. I will cast my screen for that. So let me know if it is audible to you. Okay?
This test.
Yes, sir.
In order to take my girlfriend out for a nice dinner, I had to make some money. So that's why I started. Hey, my name is Rito, and I've been running multiple e-commerce stores in the US.
Okay. Yeah. Clear it.
Coagulases are enzymes that clot blood plasma by a mechanism that is similar to normal clotting. The coagulase test identifies whether an organism produces this exoenzyme. The coagulase test is used to differentiate Staphylococcus aureus from Coagulase negative Staphylococci. Staphylococcus aureus produces two forms of coagulase, that is bound coagulase and free coagulase. Bound coagulase, otherwise known as clumping factor, can be detected by carrying out a slide coagulase test, and free coagulase can be detected by doing a tube coagulase test. Coagulase can tightly bound to the surface of Staphylococcus aureus and coat its surface with fibrin upon contact with blood. It is also proposed to fibrin-coated Staphylococci resist phagocytosis, thereby increasing the virulence capability of the bacteria. Procedure. The slide coagulase test. This method measures bound coagulase. The bound coagulase is also known as clumping factor. Materials required. Clean glass slides, divided into two sections as controlled and test. Sterile distilled water. Resuspended coagulase rabbit plasma. Culture of the test organism. Sterile needles. Procedure. Arrange all the materials in the laminar airflow. Place a small drop of distilled water on each side of the slide labeled as control and test. Heat the loop and transfer 1 or 2 colonies of the test organism from the nutrient agar plate to each drop and emulsify to make a smooth suspension. Reheat the loop. Now transfer 1 drop of resuspended rabbit plasma to the test suspension and mix well with a sterile needle. Do not put anything in the other drop that serves as a control. Results. Within 5 to 10 seconds, clumping of cocci was observed in the area marked test, and the control region, no visible clumps were observed, which indicates the presence of Coagulus positive Staphylococcus aureus. Some strains of Staphylococcus aureus may not produce bound coagulus, and such strains must be identified by tube coagulus test. Tube coagulus test. Materials required. 3 sterile test tubes labeled as test, negative control and positive control. Resuspended coagulous rabbit plasma. Test organism. Culture of Staphylococcus aureus, which serves as positive control. Sterile nutrient broth. Procedure. Each tube is filled with 1 ml of 1 in 10 dilute rabbit plasma. Add 0.2 ml of overnight broth of the test tube organism to the tube labeled test. Then add 0.2 ml of overnight broth culture of Staphylococcus aureus to the tube labeled positive control. Also add 0.2 ml of sterile broth to the tube labeled negative control. All these tubes are incubated in a water bath maintained at 37 degrees Celsius, and suspensions were observed at half-hourly intervals for a period of 4 hours. Results. Clot formation within 4 hours of incubation was observed in the test culture and is interpreted as a positive result and is indicative of a virulent Staphylococcus aureus strain. All pathogenic strains of Staphylococcus aureus are coagulus positive, whereas a non-pathogenic species, that is Staphylococcus epidermidis, are coagulus negative. While slight coagulus test is useful in screening, tube coagulus test is useful in confirmation of coagulus test.
These days, there is a lot to balance.
Any questions, students? Please let me know. Okay, so I can see that there is no question. So that is it for today, because we will now switch to presentation, and we will discuss catalase in the next 2 days. We will see how it gets adjusted. We will manage that. Okay. So group 1 is supposed to present